Tidbits from TNT, Friday morning, September 27, 2024. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Tishwash. Prime Minister leaves New York for Baghdad. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani left New York heading to Baghdad. The Prime Minister's media office stated in a statement received by the Iraqi news agency, INA, that Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani left New York heading to the capital, Baghdad, after concluding his participation in the meetings of the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Tishwash. Iraq discusses cooperation with SpaceX to provide internet services. Today, Thursday, the chairman of the Communications and Media Commission, Ali Al-Moayed, discussed with the Senior Director of Global Licensing and Market Activation at SpaceX, Ryan Goodnight, prospects for cooperation to provide internet services in Iraq. The Commission stated in a statement that Chairman of the Communications and Media Commission, Ali Al-Moayed, met with the Senior Director of Global Licensing and Market Activation at SpaceX, Ryan Goodnight, on the sidelines of Iraq's participation in the Future Summit held in New York, noting that the meeting discussed the available means to spread Starlink services in the region, and the high-speed internet services it provides. She added, the two sides discussed how to benefit from these modern technologies and their licensing mechanisms to meet the needs of users, whether individuals or institutions. She added, SpaceX representatives provided a detailed explanation of the services provided by the company, the areas it covers, and the speeds that can be provided to operators. Tishwash. U.S. State Department. Announcement of agreement on the future of the international coalition from Iraq within 2 weeks. The U.S. State Department expected to announce the agreement on the future of the international coalition from Iraq within 2 weeks. We expect that in the coming days, within a week or two, I don't want to specify a specific date, but in the coming days and weeks, we will hear more about the position. And I don't mean the American position, but the joint position, because the partnership between the United States and Iraq is the most important. And when we say there is an agreement or a deal, there was a deal or there was an agreement years ago regarding the presence of the American Army and the international coalition in Iraq. This was at the invitation of the Iraqi government and secondly to combat terrorism only. And therefore we must see in this context of the agreement that was in the past years, how we will change if the circumstances change. As we must change, or at least we must renew this defense and security relationship with Iraq, said the U.S. State Department's regional spokesman, Samuel Werberg, in a press statement. So far, there is no official announcement or statement for me to share, but as I said weeks ago, we knew that since the announcement by Secretary of Defense Austin, we saw that the U.S. government and the Iraqi government were intervening in these discussions to set the appropriate conditions for the continuation of this coordination between the two countries. So we expect that in the coming days and maybe within a week or two we will hear more. Tishwash. Al-Samurai praises al-Sudani's speech before the United Nations. It is worthy of Iraq, its history and its international standing. Today, Friday, September 27, 2024. The head of the AZM Alliance, MP Muthana al-Samurai, praised the speech of Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani before the United Nations General Assembly, indicating that it is befitting of Iraq, its history and its international status. Al-Samurai said in a post on the X platform, which was followed by Baghdad Today, we followed the speech of Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani before the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly. And it was a speech that befits Iraq, its history and international standing, and clearly expresses its orientations and reflects the will of its people and its national, Arab, Islamic and humanitarian principles. Al-Sudani stressed in his speech that stopping the violations taking place in Palestine and the region is everyone's responsibility. While he pointed to the Security Council's failure to maintain international peace and security, he stressed Iraq's support for Lebanon and its continued provision of assistance to overcome the effects of these attacks. Tishwash. Prime Minister. Iraq is witnessing an urban and economic renaissance and revitalization of the industrial and agricultural sectors. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani received an official invitation to visit Islamabad on Thursday from his Pakistani counterpart, Shehbaz Sharif. The Prime Minister's media office said in a statement, seen by Al-Iqtisad News, that Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani met, this evening, Thursday, Baghdad time, in New York, with Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, on the sidelines of his participation in the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly. He added that, the meeting witnessed discussions on the overall bilateral relations and ways to develop them in various fields, in addition to discussing the latest developments in the aggression in Gaza and Lebanon and the efforts made to stop the war of genocide against the Palestinians and protect brotherly Lebanon and its secure people. Al-Sudani explained to his Pakistani counterpart, according to the statement, Iraq's desire to deepen the relationship with Pakistan in various fields, and that the government is following an open policy on all steps of economic partnership, just as Iraq is witnessing an urban and economic renaissance and the revitalization of industrial and agricultural fields, in addition to the deep desire to open the doors of constructive partnerships with brotherly and friendly countries. He touched on the pivotal efforts undertaken by Iraq to prevent the escalation of the situation in the region and stop the aggression, including the initiative to call for an Islamic summit that unites the ranks of Islamic countries, especially Pakistan, in order to prevent the situation from sliding into a comprehensive war and protect the steadfast Lebanese and Palestinian peoples. For his part, Shehbaz Sharif extended an invitation to al-Sudani to visit Islamabad in order to establish more foundations for cooperation and partnership between the two countries and expand trade exchange agreements. He expressed his support for the Iraqi initiative calling for an Islamic summit to consider the current aggression on Lebanon and Palestine, and formulate a unified position regarding the ongoing massacre of the Palestinian people and the attempts to expand the war by the occupation government. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.